really unnerving to people and plays into the prejudices of the media. So, I mean, Trump says things that he shouldn't say, you know, and I'm sorry. I keep saying this on my show all the time because it's so old fashioned and yet so true. Manners actually matter. You know, it's good manners. You can get very far with good manners and determination, just as far, if not further, than you can get with determination and bad manners. And so, as always, with all of us, you know, Trump's flaws and his strengths are the same. And one of his great strengths.
Okay, so I'm muting it. Welcome to A Hill with a View. This is my first live broadcast. Just trying to figure this out for a second here. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, so it looks like...
Other than you can get with determination and bad manners. And so...
just trying to figure this for a second here. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, so it looks like...
Other than you can get with determination and bad manners. And so...
just trying to figure this for a second here. Bear with me.
No, that's the way I'm going to do it. You know, usually you don't call the Supreme Court, you know, say they're in the pay of foreign powers. You have some respect for the law. Nah, I'm not going to do that. So that same kind of unbridled, feeling that he brings to his substance, which is great, he brings to his style, which is not so great.
Well, I think this is where, you know, again, the president is at his best. Where he can really deploy that is when he's got his book of enemies open, and because he is absolutely the most effective destroyer in modern American history. What I've always said about the president is that the art of politics is making it very hard to vote for your opponents and easy to vote for you. And he's always been amazing at the former and, you know, kind of mixed bag at the latter. Right? He's great at making it hard to vote for Democrats. And so the question, you know, Matt, is who again, the president is looking for a target. What is the target? Who is the target? How does he singularly polarize around a Democratic target? Who's the target-rich environment that he should be going after right now?
So we're doing pretty well.
I don't know. I mean, I think they all kind of are. The good thing that we have, and we're talking about returning Americans want normal. We want a sense of normalcy. I think that's true. And it brings to mind Gavin Newsom, who just, I think yesterday, was on CNN saying that, well, you know, the Democrats need to be a little bit more culturally normal. So he's doing his whole moderate shtick, you know, which of course is a shtick. He mentions pronouns, so
just post.
He said maybe we won't be so focused on the pronouns. Very boldly coming out against the pronoun thing 4 years after that peaked anyway. But the advantage that Trump has and Republicans have is that Democrats actually can't do that. Like, at least in theory, Republicans can be normal. Many times a lot of weird stuff happens among Republicans, but they can be normal. That is a possible thing. With Democrats, it's not even possible. It's like inherently impossible because they're progressive. And so what that means, and they would even admit this if you framed it in a more positive way, but it means that you're constant. It's a constant state of transformation all the time. So there's always a new normal, you know. And so if there's always a new normal, it means that there's never a normal at all. And so Democrats are just not capable of it. I mean, they literally march under a banner that says dismantle. You know, they are the party.
So
they are the side that
I'm
uses a word like dismantle in a positive way. Conservatives almost never do that. And what are they always trying to dismantle? It's always like fundamental aspects of human society, nuclear family, and so on.
Human nature, too, yeah.
Right, exactly. So they can't do that. They can talk about it, but they can't actually do it. It's totally against their political project. And Republicans can, and so that's an advantage, and that's maybe something that Trump could try to highlight.
We do have some people arriving at the State of the Union address. Again, many Democrats are not showing up tonight. You know, I wish I had not showed up tonight, but you know, here we are all together, suffering through this together. There's some old people. You can see them. I'm not talking about Clavin again. Those are some old people who people elected. I don't know why. You know, that's just the way this thing works. This elected government of ours, it's going so well. I believe that's Senators McCormick and Tim Sheehy. McCormick, of course, from Pennsylvania. Tim Sheehy from Montana.
So basically, I have
and then there are a bunch of
Daily
people I
Wire
don't recognize. So I'm doing a great
live
job. My
right
color
here.
commentary here. Wait until I do tennis. He hits the ball and then he also hits the ball. Well, I know that Kalshi, our sponsor, also has a rundown on what
them
Trump is going to
keep
say
talking
during
for a
the
few
State
minutes here.
of the Union. If you are feeling lucky and inspired, you can get into the
that,
action yourself with the help of our sponsors over at
Not my
Kalshi. You
sponsor.
can head on over to Kalshi.com/friendlyfire. Prediction
Not too late,
markets
though,
are
Kalshi.
forecasting the odds of President
come-
Trump saying words like Somalis, ballroom, fake news, and hoax. Man, of those, I feel like there's also some odds on surprise guests. I feel like of those words, I'm gonna go.
Ballroom's
hoax. I feel
definitely
like
gonna be
hoax
said.
is always a good
100%.
standby. A prediction bonanza, unseen since the Super Bowl. So definitely check it out right now.
Ballroom is
some of these
definitely gonna be
markets.
said.
What will Trump say during the State of the Union? So as I say, some of those words will undoubtedly come up. I believe that there is ballroom is at 50-some%. Hoax is at 50-some%. I mean, people are very optimistic about him saying words. So that's exciting news from our friends over at There is
That
also
might improve the State of the Union. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's also a prediction market on who is going to attend the State of the Union. No points for Macho Man Randy Savage. But I don't know, guys. I'm punch drunk already. We haven't even begun this thing yet. If you have any idea where to go from here, like you let me know. This is why Knowles usually runs Friendly Fire, because believe it or not, it's the only thing he is more professional at than I. But the reason Knowles is not with us is because Knowles is actually at the State of the Union address. So is
That's
Isabel
how
Brown.
low they have sunk in the State of the Union. that
I know they're
Knowles is actually
really,
there.
really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Truly scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Unless he's the usher. I mean, I could see him being the usher. or
I mean,
something like that.
my assumption is that in order for you to go to the State of the Union, you have to be hit in the teeth with a hockey stick. So I volunteer right now
Yeah,
to
that's
make
true.
that happen.
That would actually improve
for-
Knowles' face.
For my okay, so Matt, I do want your rant on how much Canada sucks, because that was pretty great. I mean, the United States, if you could not feel a surge of pride at us defeating our communist northern neighbors who murder the disabled, then I'm not sure what exactly we're doing here.
Yeah, it was the first hockey game that I've watched all the way through, and it was pretty exciting, and but most exciting just to watch Canada get vanquished. And what makes it so hilarious, of course,
right,
as many
so my
people have
first
pointed out,
round
is
is
that
going very poorly.
hockey is the only thing
But
they
this
know how
is
to do.
not
It's their
great.
only sport. It's their only activity. They
think I'm trying to
they
do
put
too
their
many
kids in
things at the
hockey when
same
they're like
time.
6 months old.
Let's mute these guys. I think I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. All right. So, all right, we got the live going. I think it's streaming well. Got a few views right now. So that's nice. Well, we'll see what's going on. Okay, so basically, this is the State of the Union. We got J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson sitting back there in the seats of honor. It would be really terrible if this is the last time Mike Johnson sits behind Donald Trump for the State of the Union. I actually would be really annoyed if next year it's Hakeem Jeffries or another Democrat sitting behind Donald Trump. I thought probably the most disgraceful moment in State of the Union history, but definitely, I guess they're talking about hockey. The State of the Union history, but definitely one of the most despicable moments I've ever seen in political history, modern political history, was when Nancy Pelosi not only ripped up Trump's State of the Union address, but you could see her throughout the entire address, like prepping to rip up the speech that he handed her. It's part of the custom to hand the speech over to the Speaker of the House and to the Vice President, copies of the speech. And she was practicing ripping it, whatever she was seeing. And I remember actually sitting there and wondering what was going on. Okay, so we see Chuck Schumer, and Schumer Yishmael, Hakeem Jeffries, Amy Klobuchar. We see a bunch of those clowns over there waiting for him. You got Mike Johnson. Let me see if I can turn the volume back up here.
Real history of Native Americans, about American Indians. That episode.
They're promoting more Daily Wire stuff. I love the Daily Wire guys. They're my favorite. I mean, I feel like I'm a Talmud of Ben Shapiro, even though he doesn't know that I exist. That's totally fine. The best students study from afar, I guess. But we have the Daily Wire guys reacting to the State of the Union, but they're not going to be doing it live. They always have a pre-show and then they talk afterwards. So I figured I'd, join onto their feed and so I could watch their pre-show a little bit. But the State of the Union, we're going to be reacting live. Trump is definitely going to talk about Charlie Kirk. Trump is definitely... I really want him to actively address Candace Owens, actually. I want him to address Tucker Carlson. I mean, there's been a lot of reports that Trump is very annoyed at Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has been actively trying to split the right and amongst basically create an anti-Israel faction in the right. It doesn't need to exist. I guess they're basically pulling on a Nick Fuentes woke left type of feeling over there, saying, hey, I can't explain my own problems, so I need to blame somebody, so let's blame the Jews. So we got the Supreme Court justices. Trump was not happy with the decision last week from the Supreme Court overturning the tariffs. So we got Brett Kavanaugh over there and Sam Alito. They both sided with him. I could be mixing up Sam Alito and John Roberts, to be honest. So that's I always mix those two up. So Brett Kavanaugh, Sam Alito, and Clarence Thomas all voted to keep the tariffs, and everyone else voted to overturn them. So let's see if Trump talks about that tonight. It's gonna be awkward for some of them. At least four of them were sitting right there. I don't know why they have to wear their judge robes to the State of the Union. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you could wear just a suit or, a dress or something, like just regular clothes. That seems more like costumey to me than necessary, but whatever. I mean, they've earned them, so whatever. Let's see what's going on here.
Really entertaining. Again, I'm rooting for pyrotechnics at this point. Speaking of lack of pyrotechnics, if there's one place more boring than the inside of the State of the Union, it's outside the State of the Union, where Brecca is on the mall watching a bunch of elderly...
Let's see if I'm live here.
Go-getters like Chris Van Hollen. They're like, you know what? We got to get the guy who really going to sell this thing. Van Hollen, most recently seen like a schmuck down in El Salvador, hanging out with Camaro Abrego Garcia.
Melania, kissing Barron,
well,
Ivanka.
Meanwhile, the first family has arrived in the box. Barron Trump, whose head stretches all the way to the top of the Capitol Dome, is standing there. Melania has entered. The president's other children are there as well. So they are all.
I would like to praise Melania for a moment. Melania has become, for me, the symbol of how petty and small-hearted and small-minded the left is. I mean, look at that woman. There's a beautiful first lady that we've got. She hasn't been on the cover of one lousy magazine. Can you imagine the small, kind of like miserly pinch-heartedness of going, we're not going to let her on the magazine because people might think she was pretty.
Dude, the magazines are so bad that Time magazine featured Eileen Gu. Like the lady, the Chinese, the traitor, like yeah, exactly. and meanwhile,
Marco Rubio coming in.
You've got the American hockey team with some of the greatest photos of all time. Didn't make the cover of Time.
Marco Rubio,
the secretaries are entering the chamber.
Yeah,
Secretary of State Marco Rubio entered just a moment ago. There you have RFK Jr., who thankfully for us is wearing a shirt and not jeans today. So that's exciting. He's not doing any push-ups on the floor of the chamber. Again, I was kind of rooting for it. Also, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is there as well.
Can I say something? Actually, can I say something about Melania? I really resent her. Actually, I actually really resent her. No, I do, because up until a month ago, I had the biggest opening weekend for any documentary at the box office of the decade, and then she comes along and.
She blew you out of the water.
It's like, it's not fair. She had the President of the United States at the premiere. It's like, I can't compete with that.
And Matt, I think the moral of the story is next documentary, you try on so many shoes. The number of shoes that you try on, pantsuits, like we really go for it. I think we're going to have to blow out the budget on footwear for Matt Walsh is I think what we need to happen for the next. It's called What Am I Wearing? That is the next Matt Walsh
and
documentary.
It was unfair because they unleashed the same amount of hate against her.
I'm going to pause for a second. I'm just looking at mute that for a second. I'm looking at RNC Research just posted. Deranged Senator Chris Van Hollen TMS13. RNC Research, this is what they posted. Who is boycotting the State of the Union, disgustingly smears President Trump and Republican fascist. We mustn't get in the way of Donald Trump's march towards fascism. He's at a thing called the People's State of the Union. I mean, I know that they're communists. I really do. And yes, I am aware that the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution starts with "We the people." Yes, but like the People's Republic of China, like the people's, like, you know, everything, like that use of the language is very communistic, and they do it on purpose. Lee Zeldin, that's my boy. All right, seeing Lee Zeldin right there. Saw him last week at Bruce Blakeman's nomination. He was there, Lee Zeldin. Bruce Blakeman, by the way, if you're listening to this from New York State, you got to vote for Bruce Blakeman this coming November. We need to break the one-party rule of New York State. It's been one-party rule since 2019. Has anything gotten better in New York State? Has there been any marked improvement in the lives of New Yorkers? I don't think so. All right, what do you got here? Let's listen.
He loves going on stem winders at these things. And yeah, I mean, I think that caffing is not an inappropriate solution for some people who are in that room, pretty obviously.
This is the worst commentary for...
You know what, Drew? You take the lead, all right? It's all you. Let's see you do better, Drew.
Shapiro
let's talk.
made the argument that...
Picayune.
Let's talk about movies.
Over here. What movies
Shapiro
are we
made
talking
the case
about?
that people got to put on catheters because he's going to go over 100 minutes, hour 40. That's the guess. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a long night.
He's been a big Jane Eyre fan. I've never thought that Wuthering Heights was that good a book.
Okay, well, that was a really interesting conversation. By the way, we're building something bigger than just another news outlet. Daily Wire Plus gives you live uncensored shows every day. You can see why normally we'd like to censor them because of this. Breaking news in real time and investigative journalism that gives you the real story. No.
All right. We don't need to advertise for Daily Wire, even though I do love Daily Wire. I have written for Daily Wire. Okay, so we have, let's see what else we got going on here. Benny Johnson's inside the Capitol. You got Melania. You got, it's actually going to be amazing because you know that he's going to talk about some incredible accomplishments which he has done in the first year, not the least of which is securing the southern border. He's going to talk about this stuff. Republicans are going to go crazy. Republicans are going to really go nuts, and they're going to be cheering. They're going to be getting up and down and clapping. I mean, like, there's no way we're going to get through 5 minutes straight without clapping. That really should be what the Kalshi markets are betting on. What is the over-under of the longest period of speech between applause breaks? Like, I don't think we're going over 4.5 minutes here. Like, there's no way we go 5 straight minutes without an applause break, right? That's not really what's going to happen, because that's not how Trump operates. Trump's State of the Unions are always all about the applause breaks. I've also noticed that Melania is wearing a lot more pantsuits in the second term than in the first term. What is this? What are they talking about?
Bad sports. They complained about. They said we played better than the Americans because we got more shots. You know, the goalie was this amazing. And the goalie must be Flash from the comics. He was like just moving around blocking every shot. And somebody has to explain to the Canadians that it doesn't matter how many shots you take. It actually matters how many pucks go into the goal. So I think that alone
that is stellar sports commentary.
It
does not matter how many shots you take.
That is my reason for invading them. That is my reason for invading them.
It looks like they are about to welcome the president. I know. How long am I supposed to stretch this? It's unbelievable. The vice president and the speaker of the House are, of course, behind the president of the United States. We are moments away from the president of the United States entering the chamber, and the State of the Union will begin shortly. There is the special envoy for the president on foreign policy, that's Steve Witkoff, who's been entering the room. The Democrats are not sort of garbed in their usual. Usually they have kind of these matching Halloween costumes that they wear.
Costumes they wear, yeah.
Yeah. Last year they did the all white routine.
Yep.
This year I guess they wore their invisibility cloaks. A lot of those seats are clear. Matt, I've run out of things to say. Continue, whatever it was that you
What?
were. I know it's criticism of me, but you know what? I can take it. We need to fill this time somehow. Go
So
for
we're
it.
trying to figure out.
You've run out of things to say, so you throw to me. I'm your guy. I'm your guy you bring in.
I'm getting my
when you're
money's
in a-
worth from you, Matt Walsh. Like, for God's sake, you get to ditch us all in the middle of this and go enjoy your.
All right, I'm gonna mute these guys. Okay, so, you got the presidents coming in a minute. They're still stretching time. I mean, obviously, everyone in the floor of Congress is talking, and I'm sure the Republican side is very jovial, and I'm sure the Democrats put on their best sourpuss faces. They actually do love. They actually do love making really becoming the biggest sourpuss, school marm, upset people. That's what the Democrats do for every Trump State of the Union. I remember there was a State of the Union where I think it was last year. It wasn't the official State of the Union. It was the joint address to Congress, where Trump brought on the families of victims of illegal aliens, and everyone is applauding. Do you remember that kid? Wasn't there a kid who became a deputy sheriff or something at the State of the Union, and all the Democrats sat. All right, I gotta turn the volume up for
By
this.
Donald Trump, I think this is like.
So Trump is walking
again,
in.
Just like 2024 election, we've been rescued by the president. So
Yeah.
here he is entering the chamber. Obviously, if Matt and I were there last year, Drew, you've never been there, so you know. You
No.
can't be
Oh,
part
we
of
got
this
Randy
conversation.
Fine in the back.
I know,
Randy
I mean,
Yarmulke.
you've never received this
Is this
honor,
the
which I think
first
is fitting.
yarmulke at,
and typically when this
in the
happens, there's a big
floor
crowd that sort of comes
for
around
Congress?
the president, people taking selfies
This
with
could
the
be.
president for postcards back home and such. And he's getting a big hand. The Senate Majority Leader John Thune is behind him. You see him entering slowly. It takes him a while to get to
John
the
Thune's
podium,
doing a great job,
obviously.
by the way. He has a
But you
very
can see
small
the Democrats
majority.
are sort of
I
standing
think
there,
Mike Johnson's
turning
doing a great
the
job
other
as
way
well.
or
With a
ignoring
very-
him. I have a
Possibly
couple
even
of
slimmer
Congress
majority,
people
which
who
is
are wearing the MAGA
mathematically
hats.
insane.
Obviously, the president, I'm sure, is going to be quite
you know who's
happy
not there?
about that.
All right, quiet.
The Republicans
Love
have
you,
to-
Ben Shapiro, but quiet. You know who's not there is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, baby. See you later, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know who's also not there? He was gone beforehand, right? He wasn't at the last one. But Matt Gaetz, not there. He was a congressman. Oh, my God. All these loser, groiper members of Congress. Ridiculous. All right.
Age is when he came down the escalator in
Let's see.
2015. It
It's
is really kind of
eerie.
an incredible thing.
Yeah. There is a picture of him in the hall at the White House. He gets older and older, but and he is, he's also got he's still got a lot of verve, a lot of energy. He's just like, the New York Times has been running these series of articles every now and again on how he's falling
Let's see.
apart.
We got
it's like
Debbie
everything else in the
Wasserman
New York
Schultz,
Times, when you
very
compare it to
annoyed.
reality,
Al
there's no
Green
match
got kicked out
whatsoever.
last year.
And
Representative
he's
Al
just
Green. I'm
incredibly
surprised he's there.
energetic person.
He's probably going to get kicked out again.
Not drinking.
What does
Luckily,
Al Green
I
have on a
haven't
piece of
taken that on
paper?
board, but still.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's
What-
also a
what does
great
Al Green have
advertisement
there?
for not exercising, since he famously does not exercise in order to preserve his life force. And he
Al
looks great.
Green-
I mean, really,
I don't know what-
eat like trash,
oh,
but
what
don't
does he
have
say?
beer. And also,
Oh my God,
don't
he had like a
exercise,
little
and
like
you too
scroll.
can be president of the United
Like,
States.
is he,
and be
like-
extraordinarily well preserved?
does he
This is
remember
why
his perm
it
next
was always
week?
so funny. Democrats trying to come back at the president with, well, just like Joe, you're just like Joe Biden, and it was like, no, you know what he's not like is Joe Biden, who was legitimately a barely ambulatory corpse by the time he left the office.
Okay,
So
I want to
Isabel
know what
Brown
it said
is
on
there
Al
tonight
Green's
as well. So half the Daily Wire
scroll.
team or more is there. He is walking by John Roberts. He kind of walked right by John Roberts and right over to Brett Kavanaugh, which is not exactly surprising. He kind of ignored Amy Coney Barrett right there. He's shaking the hands of the Supreme Court justices. He's playing
likes.
he's playing Duck Duck Goose with the Supreme Court justices basically. And now he is
Trump
greeting
plays favorites.
the chiefs of staff or the armed forces of the military, and making his way up onto the podium. Democrats are standing there, not clapping. You can see Elizabeth Warren in the background as John
Fetterman's wearing a
The
suit.
statue we have of her in our studios.
Good job.
And the president is making his way up to the podium right now. He is getting a big ovation from the Republican side of the aisle, of course. J.D. Vance behind him, the vice president, the Speaker of the House behind him as well.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy in the back?
The president is approaching the
A
microphone.
few people in the background are clapping
He's
him.
gonna
I don't
wave
know
to
who
the
they
room
are.
a little bit. I assume that in a couple of moments he will begin to speak. Everyone on the Republican side of the aisle on their feet, up to and including the rafters. The Trump family, which of course is very large, is up in the rafters
Let's see.
cheering. You can see There's tremendous enthusiasm from the Republican side of the aisle, and the president pointing to members of the crowd, clapping as he prepares to walk forward to the speech. Again, one of the benefits of having Mike Johnson behind the president is that he won't be ripping up the president's speech in the immediate aftermath of the State of the Union address. The president turning to the vice president as well as the speaker. In just a moment, he will be approaching the microphone to begin speaking.
Okay, Daily Wire.
All right, in just a
Are you
moment,
guys gonna be? Are they gonna be live tweeting? Because I'm gonna have to switch feeds.
In the room.
If they keep
Pretty
talking.
long ovation here for the president.
If they keep talking throughout, I'm gonna have to switch feeds. I
Good
went on
color
this
commentary,
feed.
Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
You know,
good.
like,
Yeah, that's
Assuming
I got a lot of respect. I have more respect now for the cable news people that like they could just kind of
wing it and say nothing.
Wing it over these moments. It actually takes
listen,
some,
dude, you know what? I have a pathological aversion to saying nothing, and they put me on the air here, and they're like, you know what? Fill 20 minutes while he walks down a hall.
I do not have that. I don't have that aversion at all.
I noticed. Somebody's got to fill the time, my dude. And someone, one of the three of us, will just sit there for long periods of time saying nothing quite comfortably. And somebody's got to say something. All right. Finally,
members of
thank God
Congress
the
have the
president-
high privilege
There we
and
go.
distinct honor of presenting to you
Okay.
the President of the United States.
There we go. Well, okay, good thing that the Daily Wire guys stopped talking because now I can comment to my heart's content. Do love those Daily Wire guys though, and that's why I chose to go off their feed. USA, USA. Okay, so we got a few of the women wearing white. You know, not as good as they used to be. They used to be much more organized. I think the Democrats
Well, thank you very much,
boycotted
everybody.
because they
It's
couldn't figure
really
out what to wear.
An honor, Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
There you go. I want to put a timer on what's the longest between breaks. Okay. I'm putting on a stopwatch. Longest between breaks. All right. So when this one's over, we'll start it when he starts talking again. Okay, start.
Second Lady of the United States.
Okay, stop. That is 5 seconds. 5 seconds. All right. Here we go.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Okay, stop. That was almost 10 seconds. Almost 10 seconds. All right, reset. Okay, so these applause breaks are ridiculous, and I know
Less
that
than 5 months
they
from
do it.
now,
All
our
right, start.
country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary.
that is pretty
of
huge.
Our glorious
I'm actually very excited for the
American
250th
independence.
anniversary.
This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress
It's actually
and
pretty
freedom
cool. I gotta talk
in
to
the
people
most
who are around for
incredible and
the
exceptional
centennial.
nation ever to exist on the
Like
face
my
of
parents.
the earth. And you've seen
bicentennial.
nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
That's right. Oh, all right. 31 seconds. 31 seconds before that applause break. Yes. It's so funny he does the golden age
When I
thing
last
because-
spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had
There you
just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police,
That's true,
rampant crime
by
at
the way.
home,
It was kind of
and
insane
wars
how
and
bad it was.
chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Very good. Okay, stop. 37 seconds. We have not gotten to a minute yet. We have not gotten to a minute. Very exciting stuff. And this should I also start timing how long the actual applause.
And we will never go
start.
back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today,
I
our
hope
border
not.
is secure.
This stop. This counts, I guess. I mean, that was 11 seconds.
Thank you. Today, our border is
There you go.
secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is
That
roaring
microphone
like
behind
never
him is going to
before.
distract me all night,
And our
by the way.
enemies are scared.
why
Our
that's there.
military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
That is true. 27 seconds. Democrats don't like that. They also don't agree
After
with
4
it.
years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
12 seconds. 12 seconds. I mean, fact check true also.
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
2 seconds. Oh, by the way, it is insane, the difference. It was 200,000 a month.
We will
under
always
Biden.
allow people to come in legally, people that
Legally.
will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
It's true. Come in legally. All right. I couldn't even go. It was like 11 seconds. This is kind of an insane game. I'm very glad I'm not physically writing
The
these down or
flow
keeping an
of
Excel
deadly
spreadsheet.
fentanyl across our
I was
border
thinking
is
about
down
that.
by a record 56% in 1 year.
That's actually insane. 56% drop in fentanyl deaths. 10 seconds, by the way.
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago.
It's very
The
weird.
Biden administration and its
Like, he's
allies
just
in
reminding
Congress
everyone
gave
how old
us
he
the
is.
worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
Core inflation. Yes. Okay, so we almost got to a minute. It was like 55 seconds. I hate core inflation because it doesn't include food and gas, which are like the two biggest things.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor.
Well, in California, it's still $6
It was
a
quite
gallon.
honestly a disaster. Is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Iowa. I know. Really awkward for the 27 seconds. Really awkward for the Californians in the crowd.
Mortgage rates are the
any of them
lowest
showed
in
up.
4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
Yep.
And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both.
Okay. I think I even missed an applause
And
break,
we are
by the
going to
way.
keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Yeah, this is actually a really good point, and that was like 38 seconds. This is actually like a really good point. He got
Think
a
of
lot
it,
of foreign
much less
investment
than $1
coming
trillion
in.
for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
Yes, he does love touting his own thing.
A short time
8
ago,
seconds.
we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
And by the way, there's a lot of subtext to all these accomplishments, which is if you want to keep it going, you got to vote Republican in the midterms. By the way, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. That's really like the subtext to all of
As
this.
thousands
You
of
got to
new
vote.
businesses are forming
keep
and
this
factories,
going.
plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching.
I wonder if he's going to mention
American oil production
the-
is up by more than 600,000
all the
barrels a
public
day,
stuff,
and we
all the public
just
sector jobs
received
are gone.
from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
Oh, what a difference a dictator makes. Yes, you pull a dictator out of there, and then the next regime.
American natural gas
Doesn't
production is
like
at an
it.
all-time high because I kept
deal
my
with you.
promise to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. There we go. Gather Republicans. Let's go. I can't even
More
start and stop
Americans
this
are working
quick
today
enough.
than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
I knew he was going to talk about that. "20 seconds. I do love
We
the
ended
government people being.
DEI in America.
Okay, that was like, I didn't even get started. That was like point. That was less than a second.
We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
Oh, he's staring down the Democrats. By the way, why aren't the Democrats applauding that? Why?
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of
The
our
union
union is strong.
Okay. Why aren't the, while they do this, you get 2.4 million people off of food stamps. You should be celebrating that. I don't care if you're right, left, or center. People being able to buy their own food is a good thing. So that is going on the Twitter.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, no, no. You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point,
this
here
is ludicrous.
with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
That's amazing. I love it. That's really cool. That's really cool. All right. Can we please see the Democrats? Okay. The Democrats were smart enough to stand for the USA Olympic hockey team. The Democrats were smart enough to do that. Wow. That's so cool.
Go ahead.
All right, so I think that's the media sitting between them, but still weird that they're not like applauding them. Where do they go now?
That's
by
the
the way,
first time I've ever seen them get up.
the Democrats.
And actually, not all of them did get up.
Oh my God!
They beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Yes, even the Democrats stand up. Even the Democrats standing up for the women. It is incredible that we actually have 2 gold medal winners who beat Canada by the same score. I mean, no one's really talking about how they both won 2-1 against Canada.
They
Like,
were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I'd never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
I'm not even timing the applause breaks. It's kind of nuts. That was awesome. It is really cool to be walking around wearing your gold medal and then going to the State of the Union and being cheered by Congress. I mean, those are cool things. I don't care where you are politically.
46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12. It's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow. This guy is a showman. He really is. Like, there's really no one, like, we're not going to get somebody who could do this. Like, nobody can do what Trump does in terms of, like, entertaining the crowd and doing these, like, momentous things. I remember when he gave Rush Limbaugh the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best.
The State of the
Union. I thought
Union.
he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you all. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
All right, we can move on now. I love USA Hockey, but, like, this is great. I mean, this has been going on for, like, 5 minutes already. I mean, it's just so funny. The Democrats are just staying in their seats. Like, I'm at home. I'm allowed to stay in my
pleased to
seat.
say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
And by the way, I do not think Los Angeles is going to be ready. I think, look, the Democrats are starting to stand up because Los Angeles is a Democrat area. I can't tell who that is, but I wouldn't
And
be
Los
surprised if he
Angeles is
represents
going
Los
to be
Angeles.
safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
So he's basically saying, that's a segue, but he's like, I'm going to send in the National Guard to Los
And this
Angeles.
year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in the first term. And I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics, I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
He wanted to claim the 250th, but he has the 250th. Yeah, so basically he's
So
saying,
this will
I
be
made
a
these
year
deals in my
to
first term. He
celebrate
didn't think
our
he would be
country.
president.
And the heroes who have kept it free, men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
That's crazy. This guy's a showman. Who else puts a 99-year-old veteran? Wait, is his birthday actually July 4th? Because that would be insane. Show the Democrats. I want to see them not clapping. Okay, they're standing, not clapping, not clapping, not clapping, not clapping.
So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we
That's what I
salute
want to
you.
see. I want to see Democrats
Even in
not
times
clapping.
of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of
That's what I'm here for.
1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
So this is kind of a departure for Trump because Trump normally goes through like policy positions, like what happened last year, what he wants to do the next year, and then goes into the introductions of the people. But he hasn't talked about what he wants to do next year yet. I guess he's saving that for the end. That's what it seems like. It seems like he's switching that around.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something.
Wow.
Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
It's pretty impressive. I got enough texts from the White House. I don't need to get more. Got plenty of text from the White House.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
Wow. Trump really loves to give awards.
And I'd like to have the
at the State
military
Union.
aid to please come down and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service.
Oh, you already did it.
From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Yep, did. No Democrats signed on for those tax cuts, by the way. No Democrats signed on for it. And now it's tax season, and people are seeing it. People are posting their refunds.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary, massive tax cuts.
That's right. He is going after him. I think he's done playing. By the way, his
They
first term,
wanted
he was not this.
Large-scale
Wait, did
tax
they just applaud that?
increases to hurt the people instead. But
They-
we held strong, and with the
Did they just
great,
applaud
big,
that?
beautiful bill,
That's kind of insane.
we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
By the way, when he said no Democrat voted for this, the Democrats stood and applauded. They applaud tax increases and sit down for people
And we
getting
also
off of
made
SNAP
interest
benefits.
on auto loans tax
Think about that.
deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
Auto loans. Ay.
Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
That's actually crazy. Wow.
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
Yes.
Thank you, Megan.
Who's that saying next to her?
Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts.
By the way,
And
that's...
I didn't name it.
I didn't name it.
I did not name that.
I didn't name it? You absolutely named it.
Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Tax-free investment accounts for every American
God,
child.
that's
This
good
is something
stuff.
that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6,250 million to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
Which, by the way, is absolutely insane.
They're great people.
Let's see those Democrats not standing for children getting money. Like, how is that not something that's good? You won't stand for that?
You know, I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops, so I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner, thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it, how much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov, trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. So proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. We're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't.
I wish
they
I was
got it totally wrong.
The longest.
They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling.
Democrats are applauding.
But the good news is
tariffs.
that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before.
Trump is going to continue with tariffs.
Action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
So he's trying to get rid of other taxes, this tax to pay for that taxes. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America. because we finally have a president who puts America first. To put America first. I love America.
Oh, that almost crashed out. That would have been bad.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond,
Oh my God, he's
reached a
taking
breaking
shots
point
tonight.
with the Green New Scam, open borders for everyone.
He is taking
They
shots
poured in by
tonight.
the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Wow. This is, he went straight for it. He really went for it this time. He took shots at Democrats before, but
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it.
looking at Democrats
They knew
and
their
saying,
statements
you
were a
caused
dirty,
this.
rotten lie. Their
Wow.
policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few
What about kosher
people
beef?
would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, especially energy. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost.
Okay, so we really need to see an actual plan. Because, yes, this is really a good idea. But we need to see an actual plan that has to go to Congress.
My plan
you have to get Democrats
requires
to...
maximum price transparency. That's a big deal.
Okay.
Sounds so simple.
So he's
big.
talking about a health care plan.
And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
Trump RX. All right, so he's talking about healthcare affordability.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
All right. Most favored nation drug pricing. Democrats keep their seat. Like, people see this, right?
So in my
people watching this,
first
right?
year of the second term.
That's what they do.
Should be my third term. But
Oh my
strange
God.
things happen. I took prescription drugs,
Should be my third
a very
term,
big part
but
of
strange things
healthcare,
happen.
from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest.
First
That's
year.
a big achievement. The
Second
result is
term.
price differences of 300, 400, 500,
Should be my
600%
third
and more.
term.
All available
But
right now at
strange
a new
things
website called
happen.
TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner.
All right,
For
so he
5
brought
years,
in-
she and her husband have struggled with
what I just
infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to
IVF.
purchase.
Matt
But a
Walsh
few
is
weeks
gonna be
ago,
upset.
she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500.
Matt
a
Walsh is gonna
reduction
be
of
upset.
Much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that people aren't sure who's
So now I'm
being
calling on
applauded.
Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters, because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it.
They may do it. They've
Many
done it before.
Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could
Trump
unfairly
got
drive up
insulin to
their
$35,
electric utility bills.
and Biden
Tonight, I'm
undid it
pleased to
within a year.
announce that I have negotiated the
So they've
new
done it before.
Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory, so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time
the hell was he
lowering
talking about?
prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of 2 from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses
I'm an
into
emergency
rentals,
medicine
stealing
doctor.
away
There is
her
not-
American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
By the way, I asked earlier what Al Green's little sign said. It said,
And now
"Black
I'm
people
asking
aren't
Congress
apes."
to make that ban
That's
permanent,
something that
because homes
Trump
for
said.
people,
Ridiculous.
really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations.
Maybe you should
Corporations
put
are doing
that
just
sign-
fine.
Al Green
Racel,
should point that
thank you
sign
very
to
much.
Gavin
Good luck
Newsom.
with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
They are not protecting it is kind of insane. And the Democrats are sitting.
Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Wow, Democrats found a reason to stand up. I don't see, where's Nancy Pelosi? Where's Nancy Pelosi? I don't see her. The #1 user of inside information. Nancy Pelosi stock
They stood
tracker.
up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up?
Oh my God!
Doubt it.
Wow!
Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
Oh my God!
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota. The members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although it started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance, war on fraud. Yeah. And the Democrats still are not standing. Democrats are not standing against fraud.
He'll get it done. Find enough of that fraud. We will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings us problems right here to the USA.
Just me as the volume messed up.
The American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent,
Hope that's
taxes, and perhaps most
not
importantly,
killing the
crime.
stream.
We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colden was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien.
I like how
let in
Trump
by
always has
Joe
to
Biden and
embellish.
given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians and California.
60 miles an hour or more.
Doctor said Delilah
Could be
would
more.
never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
That's an adorable little girl. That's crazy. She's so nervous. Oh, she's so cute. Also, I was like, Delilah is not a little girl name. I was very surprised. And he was like, she's in the first grade. I was like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens
See the
do not
Democrat
speak
walk
English
out.
and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
Oh my God.
And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's
insane.
killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
Wow. Okay. The mother of a murdered girl is standing there. Oh, that's who that is. She's standing next to the waitress who homeschools her kids. All right, let's see the Democrats.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, fact check true. There's literally a bunch of... All the Democrats are
As
sitting.
we speak.
All the Democrats are sitting.
Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off.
Yep.
It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, Homeland Security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice, we'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
That is true. And Democrats are sitting. I mean, I can't get over that the Democrats are just staying in their seats. By the way, I'm pretty sure that that's Rashid Tlaib holding up a F-ICE sign. She's wearing an F-ICE pin. And Trump is pointing out how all the Democrats are sitting. We got to protect our country from illegal aliens. All the Democrats are sitting. I mean, just pointing at them. And he should. He should point at them. He should say, what are you doing? What is going on? Why aren't you standing and applauding? They should be ashamed of themselves for this. They really should be. And I hope, and I'm glad that the camera is pointing on them. I'm glad the camera is pointing on them. Because it should be known that the Democrats don't support America. They don't support Americans. And this keeps going because of the way the Democrats are reacting now. Not because of what Trump said anymore. That's not true anymore. It's not about what Trump said anymore. It's about how the Democrats are reacting. They're all sitting there looking at their phones. Looking at their phones, sitting, angry. I don't know who this guy is. That's pretty funny. I mean, angry, empty seats. There you go, Pramila Jayapal, or Rashid Tlaib, sorry. Rashid Tlaib with her F-ICE pin.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow.
That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country.
Here
and
we
you
go.
should be ashamed of yourself.
There we go. So Mike Johnson got up to tell them to have some decorum, and Trump just kept on talking. Trump just kept on talking through. And they should be ashamed of themselves. They really should be. You got to end sanctuary cities. I mean, it's actually insane that this is a thing.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
There we go. You got to do it. I mean,
To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant.
I love
It's
it.
very simple.
It's true.
All voters must show voter ID.
It is not that difficult. It does not have to be hard. It really does not have to be. They make this so much more difficult than it has to be. Passing voter ID laws
All
is
voters
so common
must show
sense.
proof of citizenship in order to vote.
It's also, it's not even proof of citizenship, just proof
And no
who you
more
are.
crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
By the way, that is enough. You're including
And
travel
this should be
in
an
there.
easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
Like, including
And
travel.
even the new communist mayor of New York City. I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot.
Speak of a lot.
policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel
I love this.
snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card.
And
Yet
everyone
they
is
don't want
laughing.
identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America.
Everyone's
No,
laughing at the absurdity
no good.
because it's absurd.
Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite
is
and
absurd.
enact this common sense, country saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
100%. You got to pass the SAVE Act. Yes. Have to pass the SAVE Act. Seriously, Mitch McConnell
They don't want to do it.
is insane.
Why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
Yep. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And Democrats are uncomfortable.
And here is one more opportunity
On
to
their
show
phones the
common
entire
sense
time.
in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new
Ooh.
gender, treating her as a boy and hiding
Talking about
it
the
from her
trans
parents. Hard to believe, isn't it?
situation.
Before long,
Wow.
a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did
I
not
remember this
immediately
story.
state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into
I
an
remember this
all-boys
story.
stay
They
home
talked about this a lot.
and suffered terribly
Conservative
for a
media talked
long
about this a
time.
lot.
But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Oh my God. By the way, that's where Erica Kirk is. I am waiting for Erica Kirk to be mentioned. I don't know if they're actually going to mention her.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
Now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents.
It's true.
But surely we can all
It is
agree no
absolutely
state
true.
can be
This is
allowed
going
to
on.
rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
We really have to. It's kind of
Nobody
insane.
stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats
Oh my
are destroying
God.
our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh?
Oh my God. We really have to get a montage of all the times Trump went after Democrats. These people are crazy.
No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both.
Everest Nevermont?
Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you.
Everest Nevermont is quite the name. I'm gonna be honest. Everest Nevermont. I like that name. That is a name out of like a teenage.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
Okay, here we go. Talking about Charlie Kirk. Are Democrats going to sit during Charlie Kirk?
So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
Honestly, Candace Owens has to burn in hell. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Totally reject political violence of any kind. Will the Democrats stand? Okay, so Democrats are standing for totally reject political violence of any kind. Wow, shocking.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up.
I'm glad that he's mentioning Irina because that is one of the most insane videos.
At her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
Yeah, that is one of the most insane videos I've ever seen. sitting next to Erica Kirk. I mean, it is kind of. That's
How do you
just.
not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous
How do they not
repeat
stand?
offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
Irina Zaretsky. Let's see.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen?
Irina Zaretsky.
In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago.
Okay, what? Does that mean there were no murders?
They don't like
Close.
to hear that. One of sick people, one of the
Oh my God!
brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround
Sick people.
was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National
That's
Guard
nuts.
Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country.
This
And
was
all because
crazy.
she wore the uniform of our nation. She was shot. He traveled here because he
This was
didn't like
crazy.
people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged. Shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, Trump is literally just honoring the people who have the relatives of people who have been killed because of Democrat policies, and Democrats are too embarrassed to stand up. They're too embarrassed to honor
So
these
sorry.
people.
Thank you very much.
They really
Great
are.
young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right.
Yeah. Wait, so that's the guy who was shot? That's crazy.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew.
He's a
Thank
good-looking
you very
guy.
much.
He's a good-looking guy. They add so many chairs to the visitors deck that the parents of the woman who died has to sit on the stairway. Like they add so many chairs.
So, Andrew,
to
while
this.
you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the
Wow.
award created by our late great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Oh my God. That's actually insane. Trump is like handing out awards at the State of the Union. I just can't get over this. Oh my God, how do they do this?
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India. Would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people, said the Prime Minister of Pakistan, would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for
By the way,
your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
It's really funny how, okay, that was literally like a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and Egg is like 9 kingdoms, and then he goes up to list them, like some idiot sounded like Rashid Tlaib shouted, "It's a lie," and then he
And
just
I
lists
also
all
want to thank the man
all
they
the
report
wars.
to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Marco Rubio, every job. Marco Rubio. Is that the new meme? Is that the new meme
People
now?
like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Oh, I think he'll go down as the best ever. I mean, he could. I mean, he's a year in. He's been very consequential. He also has 30 jobs.
Under the
So-
ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that?
Under the ceasefire. Yep. He's talking about Gaza now. Let's see.
Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. That was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back, but we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was. But we got them all back. So thank you both very much.
Yes. They hold dead bodies hostage because they know how important it is for Jewish people to bury their...
And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
And Democrats are seated. Democrats are still sitting. Good. John Fetterman's applauding. John Fetterman has some common sense of the Democrats.
For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism, and death, and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb.
Took out Soleimani. Democrats hated that. By the way, every single time Trump does something in Iran, everyone thinks that he's going to...
And just over the last couple of months with the protests...
He's going to be...
They've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000
start a war, but he's never started a war.
32,000
he never started a war.
In their own country. They shot him and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer,
about how Iran is still an existential threat.
Make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program.
They are a threat to the United States. They are a threat to the United States' interest, to the interest of the United States.
We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
My preference...
It's more than that, though. It's more than just a nuclear weapon. This is where he could be wrong. And I'm nervous about this because this is where he could be wrong. I don't want him just saying they'll never have a nuclear weapon. I want them... The Democrats are applauding because
my preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
I don't want JCPOA 2.0. I don't want JCPOA 2.0. They cannot sponsor terror. They cannot have ballistic weapons. Honestly, the regime should be deposed. They should depose the regime.
We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
Peace through strength, not isolationism. MAGA
So
foreign
thanks
policy
to
has
Republicans
always been
in
peace through
Congress,
strength.
we're investing that record
strength.
number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently.
Well, records for military recruitment, Democrats do not stand.
And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776.
I never asked anyone if we could afford
and
it.
I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was
Another $1.
4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it $1,776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also...
We love our firemen.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
I don't know how that works. But, of course, Democrats are staying seated. I'll never get over the Democrats
And
staying
with our
seated.
new military
never get over it.
campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January,
Yep.
in January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very good. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. No, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby, it's becoming so important.
Even the Republicans were like, we don't need to stand for Space Force, but because
And America's armed forces
people still don't
overwhelmed
really think about it.
all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
All right.
And this was an absolutely
Democrats all
colossal
sitting.
victory
All
for the security
sitting.
of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person.
Oh, my God.
Enrique, please come down.
Okay. This is like become the Maury Povich show. That's actually insane. Enrique, please. By the way, he made that guy sit out there for 2 hours. It's crazy. We're an hour 45 into this. Oh my God, that's nuts.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine,
massive Chinook.
many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his
Wow.
leg into numerous pieces.
Oh my
And yet,
God.
despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes.
This is nuts.
Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric, and Amy, come on in.
Wow, that's crazy. What a story. Even the Democrats have to stand up. Even the Democrats. Chief Hegseth. Chief Hegseth, Secretary of War. Announcing it. Are they... It's crazy. What a story. Is that the Congressional Medal of Honor?
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Wow. That is insane. That's crazy. Congressional Medal of Honor recipients are rarely alive these days. Like, it's usually posthumous. Posthumous. Oh, man. There have been 62 living Medal of Honor recipients. This has literally happened only 61 other times, where somebody was alive to receive it.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from
Society
that
site is dead.
incredible
is,
night of victory will
crashed.
also be
That's
receiving
funny.
medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you.
3,520 medals of honor, 61 are living.
Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952,
Is he also going to get the
Royce
Congressional
was
Medal
in
of
the
Honor?
dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Wow. 2 Congressional Medal of Honor recipients. Okay, what's better than 1 Congressional? That's crazy. I think the 99-year-old World War II vet is like feeling left out a little bit. He's like standing behind there. He's like, how come I didn't get a Congressional Medal of Honor? Oh my God, that's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, how come the other guy didn't get one? All right, so Trump, this thing started at 9. I guess it really started like 9:15. We're at 10:55. He's got to be closing this up at this point, right? I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock at night, guys. Let's, let's do this. Let's finish this up. Oh my God, it's a late night.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday.
Trump is.
But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing. And
Trump
it's
is
an
such
honor
a
to be in the
psychopath.
same room with you. Thank you both. very
I've always
much,
wanted
Eric.
that
Thank you.
Congressional Medal of Honor. They told me I'm not eligible, but if they ever open it up, I'd like one. Oh my God, that was nuts. That guy's nuts. I've always wanted that Congressional Medal of Honor.
Thank you.
They told me I'm not eligible.
250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a
that
single
true?
long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this
Wow.
nation from
I did not know that.
13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved
All right,
past
so this
through
is him
an
getting through at
unforgiving
the
wilderness,
end. Okay.
settled
So
a
he's pretty much
boundless
done
frontier, and
at this
tamed the
point.
beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West.
So he's done.
From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's
This is really good.
greatest
He
cities.
went after.
Together,
I
we
mean, okay, let's
mastered
listen
the
to that
world's
before I-
mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from
Let's
the
finish this
chains
up
of
before it doesn't.
fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars
pretty much
on
done here.
rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay, so that clocked in.
Punctuated by some pretty horrific Democratic behavior, which I think is going to be the story of the night. The president was obviously in fine fettle. He was in a very good mood throughout. There were some pretty great call-outs in the audience. A lot of call-outs in the audience. He is Last year, he did a thing where somebody was essentially made an honorary member of the Secret Service in the audience. He did that a couple of times.
All right, no, I'm going to be taking from here, Ben. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was awesome. I mean, Trump is the consummate entertainer. He is a showman. It's always great to see a Trump State of the Union address. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to, get the right people in the audience in order to, get the maximum impact regarding who's going to have a good impact on the audience over there, and even get Democrats out of their seats. 2 Congressional Medal of Honor recipients, Purple Heart recipients. It's actually insane how many people were given medals at the State of the Union address. Trump knows how to do the audience. Now, in terms of policy, I mean, he touted his thing last year, which was very good. He had some great policies, the Trump savings accounts, Trump RX, shutting down the border, doing all that. That was great. He also talked a lot about what he wants coming up. Number one, with being the SAVE Act, we need to pass that. That's a big thing. And, we need to pass end sanctuary cities. That's a big thing. So there's a lot. There's a lot to do. There's a lot that needs to needs to continue to be done. And Democrats are not going to help at all. They will not help at all. It doesn't matter what it is. They won't help. They won't do anything. So honestly, the message of the night, based on the Democrats' reaction to everything that we need to do to keep this country on the track that it's going on, in order to make things more affordable, in order to decrease the cost of healthcare, in order to decrease inflation. I don't love the tariffs, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. And by the way, a lot of people in Congress don't like the tariffs on the Republican side. But to secure our elections, all these things, we need to make sure to get more Republicans into office. To not let Democrats take the House in 2026, to not let Democrats take the Senate, God forbid, in 2026, to get more governors, Republican governors elected, like Bruce Blakeman in New York. We have a lot of work to do this year. Republicans have a lot of work to do this year. The numbers are against us. The odds are against us. So we need to get to work. It is February 24th. We have, 8 months until early voting begins in New York. And, we're going to have a lot to do. A lot to do between now and then. All right. It is exhausting watching a Trump speech, and I wasn't up and down all night. So thank you very much for everyone who joined the live stream. Thanks again for everyone who's watching this afterwards. I'll try to pull out some clips of the best reactions. Some of these things that Trump is doing is nuts, and I'll try to pull out some clips for social media. All right, this has been a great live stream. State of the Union 2026 in the books. So make sure to follow, subscribe,